Okay, so we're gonna start off with a check-in. How are you, really?
It's so deep. How am I really?
Good.
I'm doing well,
Doing well.
under the circumstances.
There's like slow anxiety brewing, which is one thing I get with check-in and getting quiet.
To be honest, I'm doing way better than I was 3 months ago.
I am okay. I think I've been in a very frustrating season of my life, and it's a season of waiting.
I'm staying above water. Yeah, let's say that. Not drowning, just trying my best to stay above board.
We actually even had a conversation like yesterday and we're like, girl, I cried. Okay, that day. Like on the same day, we literally were crying. I'm like, what are the odds? But yo, I was just going through the most.
I think as time goes, things do get better. And when you believe that things do get better, things will definitely get better.
So I'm okay. Let's say that I am okay.
Millennials are labeled as the anxious generation. Do you think this is a fitting description, and why?
Anxious, another word for overthinkers,
Yeah.
obsessive
Yeah,
about everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
We just have too much pressure on ourselves. We don't believe in time anymore. We don't believe in patience. We don't believe like things will happen if you believe in them.
I mean, millennials are the most educated and the worst paid generation in history. So when you have too much education and nothing to do and a whole lot of time, you're bound to think of things that are gonna drive you crazy.
I read somewhere that anxiety is literally conspiracy theories about yourself. And I resonate with that so much because I feel like whenever you're anxious, because when I'm anxious, it's definitely me thinking about the possibilities of things going wrong, the possibilities of what could happen.
The fear of failure is like right there. The drive and the desire to success pushes us forth and forward, and it feels like there shouldn't be anything stopping us from getting there. That's how I feel like. So I completely understand that you're being an anxious generation.
We are so anxious about who we should be, what we should do. Like there's so many things to be anxious about because we are exposed to so much. I think that's kind of where it comes from.
We want instant gratification. We want things to happen here and now. In terms of jobs, in terms of relationships, we're quick to like, what are we? Like, where's this going?
Because we're in the digital age, I think
Exactly.
we're just exposed to what the world has to offer.
Yeah.
And when you compare that to your reality, it makes you anxious.
And also, I was listening to a sermon by TD Jakes, because that's my boy. I mean, so I'm about to preach. And he had said,
Whitey.
no, but he said, just to add on to that, he said, anxiety is worrying about something that hasn't even happened and like putting all your energy into that. And it's like, it's not happened. So how dare you even put yourself in a position to start thinking about things as though you have the power to even change what the possible outcome might be?
How has social media impacted or influenced your mental health?
Whenever I hear this type of question, I always go straight to Instagram.
When Instagram started, it had like this whole thing of like, you know, fit spo, thin spo, thick spo, and like this is how I want to look, and this is how, and it's just bullshit now that I look back at it.
I definitely believe that social media right now is at a point where there's pressure in everything, in every situation, relationship, friendship, fights, everything.
Like I used to see as people winning as a way to set an alarm clock for myself in my life. Like, okay, so if she's doing this at this a particular age or whatever, then clearly nothing is impossible for me.
You know, the way it's been designed by the creators is that they want you to keep coming back for more and use their app and stuff. And it gets dangerous because when you're constantly being bombarded by these images, again, you start to really forget that this is just a constructed idea by someone, and you really take it as real life. And again, you compare their highlight reel to your behind the scenes.
A lot of people view social media as being a negative thing, and I think different platforms affect me differently.
I go through stages with social media, and that's mostly because people only show themselves looking good. you know, especially our peers, people that I look at and go, wow, they've got it all the way together. They got the house, they got the car, they got the man, they got the life. And you really need a lot of mental strength to talk yourself off the ledge, because it's just a picture.
One thing that I had to learn was I need to stop setting alarm clocks that are not relevant to me.
Yeah.
Because we're not all traveling the same journey. We're not all meant to be doing the same things.
Yeah.
So just because that's what she's doing right now or what he's doing right now, it just means that like that was their time and yours is still to come.
I don't go on Twitter because I find that everyone's voices get into my head. So, and even, you know how people say Twitter's raw and it's rough, and you know, you tweet something and everyone comes for you. I can't handle that.
People don't know boundaries anymore. People don't know that there is privacy in life, my darling. And it's fine to be private, and it's fine to have a different, actually a well-balanced life.
Whereas Instagram, I use it to see beauty. And because I love pictures. So I love posting pictures, but I also love seeing really well curated feeds. It inspires me.
But it's great that you can connect with people and get inspired continuously, but it can get toxic and really bad for you. So you need to use it responsibly. What do you think is a common misconception around mental health?
Oh, you know, a whole episode for the whole of the country of South Africa.
Shrinks are for losers. Like, you go to a shrink? Boy, you need that shrink more than I do, you know?
In terms of depression, that it looks the same for everyone. The depression doesn't just look one way, and that's depression. People can be laughing and so depressed.
I think the biggest misconception is that mental health is something that you create. Mental health is definitely caused by unhealed wounds, and it's also very genetic. In school, we don't emphasize the need to be mentally healthy at all. It's all just about physically healthy, study, and then obviously we go to church, but I don't think there's an emphasis on checking in with your mental health until you do something drastic.
I remember there was one woman, the one that the girl says, "Utando lako, na na na, na na na." She committed suicide this year, and I got in a taxi. That's actually the first time I heard about like her having committed suicide. And I got in a taxi with these older women and older men, and they were speaking of it like, how can she do that? She has it well. She's got it made.
You're making it up. A lot of people like to say that. A lot of people like to say that people that say that they have depression are attention seekers. And I'm not saying that people don't seek attention, but I'm saying that if you haven't experienced it, you don't know.
You know, this generation is weak. I've heard that, like, this generation is weak. You guys are weak and complacent. And I think that's the idea, that like that it's something you can help in the way that you perceive things. Not to understand, some people are clinically diagnosed,
but a lot of people feel so ashamed to go to therapy, and there is nothing wrong with that.
I think we also need to be careful of not making mental health like a trendy thing.
Yes.
It's like it's trendy to be sad. No, it's not. Like, I think we need to be careful in the things that we say. That's why social media is like really dangerous sometimes, because we tend to like make light of things that are really serious in other people's lives. Like, depression is not a joke. Bipolar disorder is not a joke.
Let's talk a little bit about mental health specifically within the Black community.
Mental health is something that everybody, even in the Black community, is having a conversation about.
In like the Black community, depression is seen as like, oh, you just need to pray. You just need to pray.
There's nothing wrong with praying about it, but also faith without works is dead. So if you're just gonna pray and not actually get up and do something to help the next person to get out of that slum, then naturally they're gonna stay within it.
Yeah.
You know, and then the worst thing they can do is now blame God, or oh my gosh, so and so is happening.
Yeah, I often get chewed off like I no matter indaba zokuthi singabelungu bamnyama, whatever. Especially in Luxin, people don't really vibe with that.
It's always been seen as a white disease, but we have like really big icons passing away and dying because of depression and being suicidal and stuff. Doctors, double HP,
a grandmother of mine who had schizophrenia, and she was married, and that family just didn't understand what was going on. So they were like, you cannot be married to our son anymore. You have to go back home.
But I think as a black people, had we had more information, we'd be able to make better decisions instead of blaming it on the witchcraft of the next door neighbor.
Yeah.
I don't know how long the break was between her coming back home and then her being clinically diagnosed in hospital. But access, like how many black folk have access to psychologists and psychiatrists and just health, public health in general, in hospitals that are well equipped enough to assist someone to quickly be diagnosed and then assisted.
I think the black youth, at least these days, we're really cognizant of our mental health and having conversations about it, and hopefully we'll be able to talk about it with our parents as well.
Meaningful engagement between the elderly black community and the youth in the black community need to come together and have these conversations.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, you're looking for attention, you know, so and so.
Let's pray about it.
We should pray about it.
Yeah, we should, but I mean, they never think that you need to go to therapy or you need to talk about it or you need to take medication for it. Because for example, like bipolar, you need medication for that because your lows are low, low, low and your highs are high, high, high.
And in a black household with
that's
bipolar,
moods. That's moods.
yeah, you're moody and you want to get your bum.
Yeah.
How do you deal with burning out?
I'm constantly burning out because I'm constantly like, I don't like not doing anything. It's very easy to get burnt out. You can watch 10 Gary V videos on social media and Jay Shetty and Tom Billieu and that guy that shouts at you. What's his name? I'll tell you now.
It's beautiful that we are so driven. It's beautiful that we have all of these goals. It's beautiful that we're working and we're hustling, like hustle hard. Yes, girl, great. But sometimes we do that at the expense of our mental health. We do that at the expense of our peace. We do that at the expense of our physical health. And that's what burnout is.
I was at a point that I was working all the time, but I was doing something that I love, you know? And when I burned out, I knew there was a champagne glass somewhere or wine glass somewhere waiting for me. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, I didn't want to make that a coping mechanism.
Burning out for me comes from that anxiety of not being where I want to be. Therefore, I overwork myself and I really, really try constantly to push to get out of a certain season, and then that results in burnout because it's just not healthy to do that on a consistent level.
So I'm studying law, and like people are getting signed to law firms, people are doing this and people are doing that. I remember last year in the beginning of the year, I low-key almost lost my mind because I wasn't signed, and not only was I not signed, but I felt as though that's what I had to do because that's what everybody else was doing. And I didn't see any other, I mean I knew about the avenues, but it just they were very uncommon. So I felt like I was working towards something, but I wasn't seeing the results, and I was getting frustrated.
You! I don't know what his name is, but do you know him? It's a black guy with a cap who's always shouting. He's just always shouting. He's a motivational speaker. And it's like by the time you're done, you're like, okay, man, okay, like I get it, okay. I'll get it done.
Rather let me be active and let me rather burn out for a week and take a vacay than come back and work. Because imagine if you didn't have work, how burned out would you be? You'd be like a matchstick that's not even lit.
I won't lie, burnout, it's about growing and maturing and figuring out what works for you.
You've not had a conversation with yourself about what you want to do with your life. You're just doing it because it just seems like that's what everybody's doing and that's the way that everybody should go to be successful. But there are other avenues that are unoccupied that need you there.
Work in a way that works for you, because at the end of the day you can't achieve your goals if it's at the expense of your own physical well-being.
Facts.
Yeah. So that has been my experience with burnout, and I'm just trying to find a happy balance as well as I can.
How can one best support a friend or loved one battling with anxiety or depression?
Ooh, it's so tricky. It really does vary person to person.
I'll say patience and compassion, because patience in the sense that, like she said, they can't articulate, they don't even understand what they're going through, so naturally they'll be able to articulate it. So the most you can do as a friend is be patient with the process of saying, today she'll talk a lot or he'll talk a lot and then tomorrow there's silence.
Don't think that you can fix the problem. Just be a pillar of strength. Like if you are the cause, then try and work through it with them to see what led them to feel that way. But if you are not the cause, don't try to fix them, rather be a pillar of strength for them.
We don't do a good job of checking in on people. When someone calls you, it's a signifier that they have tried. They have avoided medication themselves, whatever. They have started spiraling.
I know of my own best friend, she does the same thing with me, and I don't know if I do the same thing with her, but like she just listens to me and she lets me vent, and she just wants, she's there because she knows that I need her there, and it's not because she's obligated to be there, but like she's there because she knows that like, honey, when I break down, honey, I break down.
Sometimes we like to struggle in silence, or we like to go through things alone, or we don't even understand what it is that we're going through. And I think it's very important that you need to talk to someone you trust, because maybe they can give you a clear understanding as to what it is you're going through.
I have a power circle as well, my friends, my closest friends, who I can tell when I'm feeling this way, and they can speak life into me. I have people that pray for me and that intercede for me. I have mentors as well. So I'm surrounded now. And so the depression and the anxiety does not affect my daily activities as much as it used to.
You can always do research in terms of the specific issue that your friend is struggling with, so you also get a better understanding of what it is and how you can help that person cope. You don't have to be the curer of the disease or of whatever, but you can be somebody that supports them and is just there.
So keep up with people, especially if you know that they are clinically diagnosed, specifically clinically diagnosed, but also people that give signs of not being completely themselves anymore.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, because don't keep that content to yourself. Otherwise, see you in the next one. Peace.